Hendu here with StillerFanTV. It is so good to be doing this after a Steelers win. So, first regular season game that we are at Heinz Field after a Steelers win and not a loss. Steelers beat the Colts today 26-24. What a wild game. Up and down. The Colts had a safety. There were fourth down stops. There were fourth down conversions. There were interceptions. Minkah Fitzpatrick had the pick six at the end of the first half, which really turned the tide of the game. And again, it's just great that the Steelers got the win, 26-24. They've been losing some close ones. Now it's nice to win a close one. And the Colts kind of live by the sword, die by the sword. Last week they beat Denver on a last-second field goal, 15-13. The Colts have had a lot of close games this year that they've won. Today, they lose a close game. So bear with me. I wrote some notes down here. Their special teams, the Colts' special teams outplayed the Steelers' special teams, in my opinion, all game. Whether it was returning kicks, returning punts, covering kicks, covering punts, they had superior field position the entire time. It set up, their special teams set up the Colts safety in the third quarter, although the Steelers did force a turnover on the ensuing kickoff. Our kickoff after we gave up the safety, the Steelers forced a turnover there, so that was a big plus for the special teams. But in general, as is usually the case, the Steelers special teams were outplayed. Sorry, I know some people are going to say I'm being negative. You want to comment below the video here? Danny Smith, I just don't get it. I don't know why he's the Steelers special teams coach. I don't think he really brings anything. Our special teams are less than special. Staying on that special teams theme, Switzer, our punt returner, kickoff returner. Why does this guy have a roster spot? I joke around with my brother and my buddy George Cupits. I call him Bootlegger's Boy because Barry Switzer, the former Oklahoma and Dallas Cowboys coach, wrote a book called Bootlegger's Boy because his dad apparently bootlegged illegal booze back in Prohibition days. So I like to joke with Dan and George, Bootlegger's Boy, every time he does something. Typically, it's a fair catch signal. I do not know why this guy has a roster spot. He just doesn't contribute a whole lot. All right. I already talked about the key fourth down plays. The Colts defense stuffed the Steelers offense in the first half on a fourth down play. And then in the second half, the Colts converted a fourth down on the against the Steelers defense. But on the same series, the Steelers came up big and stopped the Colts on a fourth down. So there was a lot of back and forth. And as I said, a wild game. Steelers really did not take advantage of their turnovers that the defense caused as much as the Colts took advantage of the turnovers that they got from the Steelers. They turned two Steelers turnovers into touchdowns. Mason Rudolph was up and down. I thought I'll give Randy Fichtner a little bit of credit. The offensive coordinator sort of took the shackles off Rudolph in the first half. I thought he was less conservative on the first couple of drives than he has been in previous games. Now, it's not saying much because he was really, really, really conservative in earlier games. But I thought that the shackles were removed just a little bit in the beginning of the game for Mason Rudolph. But the INT that Rudolph threw, that wasn't his fault. In the first half, Juju pulled a Dante Moncrief there and just let it clang right off his hands. And I texted some friends of mine, and I said, I thought we cut Moncrief. And my one buddy, Pat, replied, his ghost still lingers. The safety, that was definitely Mason Rudolph's fault. I'm not going to kill the kid. This is like his fifth start in the National Football League. And it's easy for me to say, Mason, you got to throw the ball away. You got to get rid of it. But every quarterback who is now an analyst on one of the broadcasts or one of the pregame or postgame shows says you have to have that mental clock inside your head. And after it gets to like 3 or 4, you've got to throw it away. I'm sorry, he can't take that sack for that safety. That could have been a massive turning point in the game had the Steelers lost today. And finally, the defense. They were up and down as well. They gave up a few conversions. They gave up, in my opinion, what was a surprising amount of yardage on the ground. I know the Colts have a great offensive line. They have a very good running game. But there were too many times when the defense was not able to stop the Colts. But came up with some really big sacks and sealed the deal late in the game. And as I said at the beginning, It's so good to do this with the fans here after a Steelers win. So, Steelers win 26-24. This is StillerFanTV. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment. If you disagree with me, if you think I'm full of it, if you agree, if you want to debate some stuff, I'd love to have your comments in the section below this video. All right? Take it easy.